Hey there, everybody. It's Leticia, and I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how I managed to survive being homeless in this day and age, 2021. I recently used my credit score. I know that there's like a lot of different things that I discuss to people. They always ask me, how do you manage? How is this, how'd you manage to lose the weight? And it's really about self-discipline and also about knowing the ins and outs of low-income lifestyles. So I get food stamps, but I also collect Social Security disability because of the years that I had worked prior. So I get a little bit more than most people. And, there are a lot of jealousies behind that where people are like, you need to get a job, you need to do this and that. Well, no, I don't. I'm under a lot of stress. I suffer from severe post-traumatic stress and borderline personality disorder, which means that I literally want to kill myself every goddamn day because of the things that I've lived through, the things that I've seen in my life, and the things that go on this plane, on this earth. I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, woe is me, woe is me. I kept everything to myself for many years, and I realized that it was really detrimental to my psyche to hold everyone else's secrets, and I decided that I would just run around and tell everyone the truth about myself, my life, and the world that I see, what I perceive around me, and the way that I was raised, and how contradictions are among us everywhere. Okay? So here I am chilling in my 2014 RAV4, fully loaded, and it's nice, and I'm making payments on it, but it took me a while to tell everyone because I know I have stalkers out there, and I have to stay away from certain, people because of, just the safety of my own life. So I've been traveling as well, and before when I first became homeless about 7 months ago or so, I was so scared. I was so frightened. I mean, I'm a woman and I'm starting to look prettier here and there through exercise and my vegan diet because I do believe in trying to better the world around me through just the little things that I do. I offer kind words. I pick up things here and there, trash, litter I see on the ground that other people might not have the time to do, right? We all have the same amount of time. We're given the same amount of time within our lifespan. If we're wasting it, then we've wasted it. So there's a whole lot of things that I would like to discuss, and people have asked me, you should do a podcast. But I haven't really even thought about it. So I'm just chilling. I've always had these really good entrepreneurial skills. So I started a little sort of side hustle, which is actually legit. And I used to, like, when I was 12 years old, I started a website when the internet first came out, right? And I started a website for rabbits, and I was selling them locally to the pet stores there in Beloit, Wisconsin, and like Janesville and all that. And then when I moved down here and I went through some issues, I found more solace in my pets. And I had toy poodles that I was raising, and that was really lucrative for a while. And I lost everything, and I realized that's not what the universe wants for me. I don't need to seek out money. Money will come to me freely. It does. And people will always tend to care for me because of the fact that I'm Leticia. So I realize now how important I am. I need to keep shining all the time. And people just automatically want to be around me when I'm in a positive mood. Because I've lived through so much, people understand that my soul is just very open and giving and loving. And I was taken advantage of many, many, many times. My ex-husband, his family, when they physically assaulted me, and I discuss these things openly because I have to. These are the stressors that caused me to have these diagnoses. So I smoke, medicinal marijuana to combat the stress, but I also, I believe we're supposed to have rules and regulations in order for everyone to function in this world, this new day and age. I get that. So I had to go through my hoops of trying to seek out the proper medication, and I've refused to take any pharmaceuticals whatsoever. Anything that is man-made like that, even some of this, when they harvest it and everything, they spritz whatever they need to, all that is really detrimental, not only to the psyche, but to the body, everything artificial. So I started removing a lot of toxins. I started eating a very healthful diet every morning. I go to the gas station and I warm myself up some oatmeal, toss in some nuts in there. I get this stuff on sale, on clearance. So here I am saving money, doing my little side gig, which I don't know if I really want to tell everybody just yet. But I'm doing well, and I'm traveling, and I'm getting to meet new people and see new sights, and I had no idea that love was in the world from strangers, complete strangers. You try to make people like, I look at it like my family, right? I was born into a certain family. That's how it was. No, they're not my family. They're my biological family, but they are not necessarily my soul tribe, if that makes any sense. Because although I keep having to interact with them in certain aspects because they are my family, and like when I went to jail, my mother was so hesitant about taking me in, and she was belittling me and telling me that I wasn't worth it, that her sons do so much better, and I'm just a troublesome child, and I shouldn't talk about the sexual abuse, and that's taboo, that nobody wants to hear about that. Mother, you allowed my daddy to touch me. You saw him doing it. Mommy, you should have stopped it, but you didn't. Instead, you waited till I was 18 years old, and then you divorced him. How do you think that makes me feel? You saved yourself. You didn't save your children. You didn't save their souls. Each one of us has a sexual disorder. My sister has 9 kids by like 6 different dads. Count them up. So I went a different route. I decided I would tend to myself, I would care to myself, and I would get rid of the toxic energy. Okay, so I started cleansing. I realized I was a healer. I realized I have all these different aspects of me. Like I healed myself. I dance so fluidly. I'm actually extremely talented. I didn't realize I can do art. I can create creative things. I did crafts, bows for a while, little girls' hair bows, and I wanted to delve into like making collar bows for dog collars before it even like became a huge thing. So I even started up a business, and I named it Poodle Princess because I was known in this area for selling toy poodles and having the sweetest poodles at a low cost to the community. So I was doing a service. I've always tried in my life to give back in some way. And if it's like a low income service that I can offer, I'll try to do it. I'll adjust myself for each individual's needs, because I realize that I come in contact with certain souls for a purpose. And a lot of times it's to touch them in a positive light, to allow them to recognize that life is not so horrible for them. I suffered through many atrocities in my life. I've seen many things that I wish I did not see. I may not have been in the military, but I have lived vicariously through the stories that I've been offered throughout the years by different people that have, different veterans. So I wish I could give back in other ways, but all I can offer is myself and my story, and allowing this to progress gradually as the universe wants it to. And I do believe in God, because God is the universe to me. Everybody's version of God is introspective. And people argue the words of the Bible. Well, yes, that was created by mortals. That was created by humans, and not God himself. So, and I say himself, but I mean itself, because God is everything. God is all around us. So I think that those chemical compounds, those atoms that we're made out of, they connect to the consciousness, to the universe. And I mean, you see the research here and there, how this stuff, acts and whatever. But I am just a very, like, spiritual, open person. I say I'm Catholic. I do the sign of the cross because I can, because I was baptized as a baby into the Catholic faith. So I can do whatever I want to do because I am a human being and I've suffered many things. That pain and suffering should have been given back in some way to try to appease the situation, appease what was going on. But in my life, I've dealt with a lot of selfish people, and I've tried so hard to be selfless. That's why I lost myself for those years, because I'd gained weight right before the divorce, and then my daughter, this is a good story. My daughter and I, we used to cuddle and color, and like we used to play all day, and we would watch things like My Little Pony all day long, and like little educational shows, things that were positive. Never was there ever anything that was negative around my Tootsie, aside from when I argued with my ex-husband, and we tried to separate that. She comes up to me one time after she's pulled away from me, and she was never separated from me for 3.5 years. She was literally by my side like every day. So my mental upheaval when she was pulled away, they didn't realize how much I was breaking, because that was my child. That was my love, the love of my life, the only unconditional love I've ever had in my existence. So far. Okay, I say so far because I already know that I have a lot coming to me. I already know. I'm expecting it, and I'm super excited, actually, because I already know that my story individually is special, but I'm going to keep pursuing everything that I advocate for, like medicinal marijuana, smoking medicinal marijuana. I believe in eating healthfully. I believe in having a plant-based diet. I believe in therapy. I believe in being yourself. I believe in LGBTQ. I love that. I love all things. I feel like, and it doesn't separate me because I was raised in the Catholic faith. It makes me a little bit more unique because I understand a little bit of the aspect behind all of that. And I wasn't abused by the people in the Catholic faith. I was abused by my own family, who turned and twisted God's words against me, stating things like, you should obey your mother and father. Well, I do believe that my mother and father is the universe and nature. So I am abiding by their laws. I'm respecting them. I do not respect my biological parents because of the fact that they're awful people. They tried to make it look to the outside world like they were raising a healthy family. And we were so psychologically and sexually damaged that we came out into the world and we started destroying others. And that's where we need to recognize that not all abuse is all right. I understand that certain amounts of abuse, we have to have the suffering with the joy. There has to be that equilibrium within each individual's life. I get that. I understand that. So I've suffered many horrible things, horrendous things. I've gotten whoopings to the point where I was bleeding when I didn't really do anything. And of course, as a child, you're wondering, like, what did I do? Mommy, I love you. Daddy, I love you. So that's why people don't understand why I detach when I'm in so much pain, because I've already lived through that. My father was sadistic. So, and my mother apparently is also sadistic because she allowed this stuff to happen and watched. So, and my brothers, they try to deny it all. But if you look at all the records and you also go back through all my records in therapy, you can see where I preached about this when I was a child. I told everyone, I was like, this is not okay. This doesn't seem right. Like, I see all these other little girls and the way that their daddies don't touch them down there. I shouldn't have been touched down there. I realize that now. And then when we were going to the gynecologist and everything, my mother would tell the doctor things, whisper to him and tell him things about, me being promiscuous or something like that. I was 12 years old. She got me on birth control so that I wouldn't get pregnant by my dad like my sister did and had to get an abortion. So, like, I know my bits and pieces of my story are very relevant for people. And I'm going to be myself. I'm going to dance. I'm going to talk the way I do. I'm going to be intellectual when I need to be. But I'm also going to be kind of thuggish, because that's how I am. I'm just all around, just, I want to be whatever I want to be, whatever day I want to be, and that shouldn't be an issue with people. I don't have different personalities, all right? I don't have different personalities. This is all Leticia, but I do absorb other people's energy, and I reflect it back on them. So, like, if you, I'll give you an mirror image of yourself. If you start doing things to me, I will reflect that back on you, and people are frightened of that. Because there are times where I can pull their deepest, darkest insecurity and spit it in their face. And I know that. I know that. I didn't realize that I had these gifts. That's not a gift to torture people with my words. I didn't realize that my words meant so much to people. Okay? There are some individuals out there that my words have tortured them to this very day. And I don't mean for some of that. But then in other instances, I truly mean it, and I want them to perish, like they tried to make me perish. Isn't that right, BKC? Isn't that right? So, anyway, you're going to get yours. Everybody's going to get theirs. And anybody who messed with me growing up and everything, I know there is that one dude that grabbed my boob in the one class, and I turned around and slapped him. And so, there's that instant karma. I don't want anybody to mess with me anymore. So, like I said, I've got my vehicle. I sit here, I eat my oatmeal. I store my money away so that I can have that for whenever I want to settle down. I'm going to find a nice place, not in this. Arkansas is nice for the beautiful, like the nature and everything, but the people here are so ignorant. I feel so sorry to say that, but even like the people that are educated through the colleges around here, their intelligence is just at a certain level. And I know that I am at a certain level also, and we just clash because either they can't understand when I enunciate properly, or they're just disrespectful because I have a more eloquent way of speaking at times. So there was a lot of people who their jealousies got to them, and that's why a lot of it, I was stuck in this weird, like, whirlpool of negativity down here, where I knew, yes, I was a klepto. Yes, I stole from stores that didn't have cameras. Yes, it's been well over 2 years, and I know the statutes on the laws, and I can enter these stores now without feeling like I'm going to get in trouble. Because I know what I had done in the past, and I know that I've given back to the community that I stole from in many other ways. So I knew that I had to repent. Everyone needs to repent. Honestly. Not even repent about like the things that you've done prior. Repent about the things that you're continually doing to yourself, okay? Because it's doing it to yourself that damages other people. So if you're eating a toxic diet, soda, chips, lots of dairy, lots of fat from bacon and all that, your cholesterol is all high and you are just overweight, you've got all this excess fat. I'm trying to be helpful by showing you, displaying through my own experiments, how you can change your lifestyle, how you can remove all this toxicity and become a clear version of yourself. I had to remove myself entirely to the point of living in my vehicle. And I live off of the government here and there. Government's here to not only hurt us, but to help us, okay? I get it. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about this and that. A lot of them true. So, a lot of the times we were injected with things like this flu vaccine that was recalled. Common sense, I thought. There is no such thing as common sense, especially in the state of Arkansas. I realize that. No such thing. They don't know how to brush their teeth. They don't know how to floss. I don't get it. I do not understand it. If you want your teeth, if you want to keep your body safe, if this is your temple, I believe in God, and God tells me to do this. Okay, no, he probably did not. That's probably just you and your psychosis because you're all hyped up on Mountain Dew, all right? And your kids are too, with their little cookies and snacks, and I really like McDonald's. So, but yeah, it's just, and I don't mean to be demeaning like that. but it's just how it is. So when I came down here and I was disrespected for being a northerner, oh, you from the north? Yes, I am, and I'm much smarter than you, so please stop. And then they would grab me. They would physically assault me down here. The officers have grabbed and snatched and forced me to the ground without having a proper conversation because they thought I was a threat. Yeah, intellectually I'm a threat because I'm going to write about this, and I'm going to write about each individual person who's done this, and each instance that's caused a certain ripple effect, and that's not okay. This is the South. I realize that they're behind like 50 years, 20 years or so. Yeah, and racism is commonplace here. So, misogyny, commonplace, where they think they feel like since they're a man, they can talk down to me. Oh, yeah, And so, yeah, that's when I have to recognize that everybody's been raised differently. Everybody has not had access to the same educational material. And, they don't do research. They're not as knowledgeable as other things. But then they go to school and get a profession like being an officer. And I'm the officer, so I got me the badge. And I've got me this and a certificate to touch you. No, you fucking don't. You don't. I have not done shit wrong most of the time, and you grab and you shove me in these psych wards and everything, giving me shots on shots on shots. Shots on shots on shots. I didn't need that. What I needed was some compassion. What I needed was someone to actually listen. I finally found a therapist, a psychologist with a doctorate that is knowledgeable enough to understand what I've gone through, what I've lived through, and what I still see and perceive, not in this dimension, but others. All right? So when I found this psychologist, 80 years old, amazing man, knowledgeable, learned, cultured on and worldly on, learned on religions and stuff. So he's been all over, he understands. And then when I started preaching to him and telling him about like the demons, quote unquote demons I was living through, and I was putting everything in poetic terms because there was nothing else I could do. No one was listening to me with like literary, like everyone was taking my words literally. And I was thinking, are you insane? I am trying to communicate with my creativity. And no one understood that. So when I posted those videos about me holding those guns, and then the law enforcement said that I was a threat to my ex-husband and his family, excuse me, no. They were a threat for leaving those guns with me. They're actually the threat to this world. They knew I was mentally unhinged. They purposefully left those guns, and I could have harmed someone else under my bouts of psychosis, wondering where my kid is, why the paperwork, are they able to take a child from a woman over a man's words because a man abused her to the point where she had to keep silent. And then when she tries to speak up years later to recant her statements, you can't recant them in the state of Arkansas because we know what we're doing because we know, and that's just how the laws go. Probably not. And your God is going to come back tenfold on you, just so you know, because I pray for that every goddamn day. Hypocrites. So whoever the judge was in that instance and didn't know me personally, yes, I was obese at that time. Oh, and by the way, when I was telling you about my daughter when she was pulled away from me, and I'm sorry I get off on my little tangents and go here and there, because I do that, she called me fat. She came up to me, not even 4 years old. She said, "Mommy, you're fat." Where do you get that saying? Where do you get that? So whatever my daughter's been exposed to now that I've been away from her, all the toxicity and the negativity that they tried to make it as if I was the one doing it, I was the one causing. No. Everyone knows through the documentation of all the times that I got my daughter checked, all the low income assistance that I sought out in order to provide for my child. I was the one that tended to her with my low income benefits and my skills on couponing and breastfeeding, all this stuff. No one deserves to be near that child more than me. Because I loved her, and I taught her things that you could never teach her. como hablando en español. Si entiendo más que ustedes, entonces podía ayudarla a entender o transmitir. But, you know, you just don't care. You think that, some people think that they're so much better than everyone else. You think you're so much better than everybody else. And Leticia thinks she's better than everyone else. Does she? Does she? Do I? Do I think I'm better than you? I think not. I've lived and suffered through fucking hell. Live your own life. No one cares. I am not jealous. I'm not spiteful. I am not hateful. I'm not envious whatsoever. I want you to understand that. You're going to get yours. Whether good or bad. That's why I wish you blessings either way. Because blessings can be taken either good or bad. It's a blessing that you will suffer. Because in the end, you will feel better. And it's true. Because I had no idea that my suffering would make me feel so much better. I feel so much so much more relief. Cleansed from the toxicity that I've lived through. So anyway, that's my little bit here. And I just wanted to share a little bit about my day. I've got a lot to talk about. I'm probably going to be traveling to Texas again, doing some of the entrepreneurial stuff like I was saying. And inevitably I will share with you what I've been up to and how I've been able to manage and survive. But, yeah, and most of the time, like I was telling you, like in those other videos when I'm really sad and everything, those are just my pure emotions. I just want to chronicle my life and like video blog about the different things that I've interacted with and to be able to share that with my child that I've been removed from. You know, like 4.5 years is way too long for any woman, any good woman, a loving, kind mother to be away from her kid. And other people know that because of the way the kids approach me, the way animals approach me, and the way I have such a huge heart. I may have been tainted for a while, but I would have never harmed a child. I will never harm a child. And I will never harm animals either. And anything that I might have done in the past, there's nothing that I can't be forgiven. But you know, some people perceive that they continually hurting people is okay. It's not. At some point, you have to recognize they're human too, and they've suffered their own, you know, indignities here and there. So, I would just like to wish everybody a blessed day. It is Sunday, and it is May 16th, 2021, and I'm super excited. I had a wonderful week last week. I got that massage and everything. I just keep track of everything as much as possible. But here and there, I forget to take pictures of my food. And when I first was homeless, I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do for food? What am I going to do for this and that? I'm a cute girl. And I realize that now. And I'm not going to go without because there's always going to be some filthy pervert that wants to offer me lunch, or some, you know, demented such and such that wants to offer me a bed here and there. Do I ever take up their offers? Not generally. But every once in a while, if I am hungry or whatever, I'll take up a free meal. Why not? Yeah, if you want to just talk to me, sure. And that's where everybody's like, oh, she's got multiple personalities. No, I just know when to hide certain things from certain people so I can get by with certain things. Yeah, and so that is kind of manipulative, but you kind of have to be that way a little bit in this day and age, especially being a woman and all the misogynistic pigs that are around here thinking that they can run you into the ground or into their bed. So anyway, like, I'm good. And people offer me their bed? No, thank you. I'd rather sleep on my air mattress in my car than deal with any of your penises. Okay? Penis heads. Yeah, exactly. Get your dicks out of each other's asses. And then, it's so much, I have so much to talk about because you have no idea how putrid the world is around us and the interactions I've had, like the officer that had me do fellatio on him one day. That's not okay. And I tried to tell people about it, and they were like, meh, we're going to hide that. No, you're not going to hide that, because I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tattle on you. Everybody knows, Leticia, she's a little stool pigeon, and I will be. I don't give a fuck. Tell God everything. Tell everybody everything. I don't care. I don't really care. So, but I do care. Because being honest always helps in the long run. And I love everything. I love everything that's terrible for you, because I'm like, ooh, that shows you, a side of the darkness, the dark side. And it's cool, like, being like that. That's why Batman is my favorite superhero, because he sneaks in and out in the darkness of night. And he's able to save people. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to save people. But I don't want to be necessarily in the spotlight all the time. Everybody thinks, oh, Leticia's always attention-seeking. I'm attention-seeking my child's attention. Yeah. And also, BKC, you're not worth it physically. So, and just, yeah, that's for everyone to know. That if somebody is that demented to steal a child like that, they're physically and psychologically distorted. You're distorted. And I can't wait for you to try to explain yourself to our child when she figures out what you did. When everyone figures out what you did. And also, too, do you remember when you first started living with me and you took a shower and you said, did I get all the poop from my butt or whatever? Like, did I wash my butt good? And you turned around and I said, I don't know, spread your cheeks. And there was a piece of corn in there. There's a piece of corn sitting next to your asshole. That's hilarious to me. That's disgusting. You are disgusting. I can't believe that I procreated with you. And yet, we have a child, and you presume that you can raise her without my input, and that your intelligence is going to lead her, and whatever wife you might have at that instance, which will soon be your ex, I already know. I mean, I don't even need to research that stuff, because I already feel the energies and vibrations sometimes, and that's why I know your grandfather's not doing well, and also your mother and her heart, and I feel sorry, but not really sorry, because karma's a bitch. You shouldn't be such an asshole and physically assault people and steal babies, and that stuff will get back to you. Worse than the things that I've done about stealing and everything, because at least I was able to take care of it with money. And that's what the Catholic faith teaches you in some senses too, about donating back to the church and donating back to your community and being a good person. But people are like, oh my God, she preaches the word of the Bible. Yes, I preach the words of the Bible, but not every single word. Because when you sell your daughters into slavery, that's not cool. That was some fucking dude back in the day be like, there's too many of this and that. No, you're just a bunch of perverts. I already know half the time people looking at my pictures and shit. Fucking disgusting. And like, you don't even know us personally, and you're gonna demean us in your mind, your spank bank. We've got our spank bank too. And I'm going to call each one of you out on it, because there are some times where I can get visualizations of people's like images of their thought process and like moments of their memory, which is super weird, because I didn't realize that this was a thing. I didn't realize that, oh yeah, Leticia's just weird. No, I guess I can read some vibrations. I can. It's just, I don't know. I'm very intuitive, and I didn't realize how intuitive. So I need to practice that. I need to, delve into my skills, become more of what I want to be, which is a very peaceful person. I want to have like just my space in nature. I was invited for a hike today, but things didn't pan out. So I'm like, okay, I guess I just got to go work out at the gym, keep up with, maintain my physique and stuff, trying to get off all this excess weight that I put on. And I know everybody's like, oh, you look amazing, blah, 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 blah. But in my mind, all I see is pain and suffering when I see this weight. That's all. I remember the food that I had eaten that made me to this point. all this is memories, bad memories. So when I work on myself and everything, and people are like, you shouldn't be so critical about yourself. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing with myself, and I know what God wants of me. And that is something I'll have to discuss in a different video. But yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I know that my videos are kind of like long sometimes and whatever. I just want to share my life story, share what's going on in my life, and that way when my kid comes back to me, she knows how, how much I struggled in order to live, in order to become the beautiful woman that she's going to see in the future, and that mommy that took care of her, cuddled her and just held her all the time. And I didn't even give her kisses because I was worried that any bacteria would get on her. So I was so respectful of her. I always asked her, I asked her opinion if she wanted to eat or whatever, or if she wanted to take naps. She was such a docile little child. Never had tantrums. Never had a tantrum. I am a really great mom. And I realized that helped me, with my personality, and then even the loss of her, and recognizing to find myself again. And everything is just a blessing. Everything is a blessing. Everything around me is a blessing. This cold-ass oatmeal now that's been chilling is a blessing. I love it. I'm gonna eat it. Oh. Like those people that get paid, just sit and eat. I know, I'm so silly. I don't even care. It's like chilling and hanging out with friends sometimes when I just whatever, because I don't really get involved with people's lives anymore. Why should I? It's beneath me. I'm just playing. I just don't want to be stressed by other people. Fuck that. But if you invite me to your neck of the woods, I might go. It depends. If I'm able to work while I'm in the area, then heck yeah. Of course I'll go. But I can't wait to visit the north. I've already been doing what I'm doing. I've been to Arkansas areas, Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. So I can't wait to go all over the coast, because honestly, I've never seen the ocean. And I've never been on a plane. And I'm not going to let that stop me, because I'm going to totally do those things. And I don't know. It's just so weird because I have such a positivity about myself. I know that these things are going to happen. I know that my life is going to turn out in a good way because I try so hard. I donate blood. I do different things here and there to give back because I know that my life is not my own. My life is here for a purpose, and that's to spread joy. My name translates to joy, by the way, Leticia. I'm here to spread joy. And if that's through truthfulness, brutal honesty, and people hate me, but then find joy inevitably through my words, then that's just what I want. I want them to realize that there's research out there and they need to grow up and they need therapy. So those aren't harmful words to tell people. Not at all. Not in my mind. So whenever somebody's like, oh, you're disrespecting, no, you're disrespecting me for telling me that my disorders make me less than you. You didn't seek therapy. You don't have those labels. That makes you less than, because you don't know your disorders. It's mental awareness, not mental illness. And I realize that now. That's why I removed myself from the pharmaceuticals, because they were tainting me and my mind. And then I started doing all these peaceful things, these passive things, yoga and exercise, meditation, and realized how beneficial that was. And I was like, wait, I've already had these innate urges to do these things. And so I feel so much better. I'm going to have a really good day and a really good week. And I hope you guys do too. And, but yeah, I love you. Tootsie, I love you. I love you so much. I can't wait to have, I don't want to have anything. I don't want to really own anything because technically this is all we pass with when we die. So really I'm not trying to accumulate money or accumulate all this stuff, but it just sort of flows to me. Like, I got all this stuff in my car, and it's all packed and organized nicely, and everything has a spot. I'm very organized. But then I make sure that when I'm traveling, that it's all disheveled, so that nobody knows that, like, I have any money whatsoever. I like that, because that's also a key in what I'm going to tell people about living in being homeless and a girl. Because everybody's like, whoa, how can you manage? And, oh, be safe. Be safe. Excuse me? I know that when I go to certain areas, wipe the makeup off, throw your hair up in a messy bun, and wear baggy clothes, and don't make it look like you have any physique whatsoever. Because that's exactly how I go about it, because I'm like, I already know. I'm not going to get snatched up at this point and that point, and if they did, they have no idea how much weight I can lift now, and I go knock their ass out and claw them. Like, these daggers, I can't believe they're freakishly long right now. Anyway, but what else? Yeah, I'm super excited. I love you guys so much. I love you so much. And please stop jacking off to my image. Please. If you don't have me personally, don't jack off to other women like that. That's disrespectful. And you'll get yours for it, just so you know. Just like my brother, by the way, who is still sick in the head, and I'm so sorry. And my father, of course, yeah, they're still sick in the brain. Sorry about that. Not really. It's your own fault. You didn't change yourself. So, whatevs. Love ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm trying so hard to figure this. This is a new laptop, so I'm like, so anyway. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Bye-bye.